All right, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? My name's Justin Norton. I'm the owner of Atlanta Custom Wraps. This is my crew, and this is our story about Young Dolph.
Now, Skylar, you've had a long journey with Justin. Talk about your favorite memory that you've had with Justin and along the way with, PRE and Dolph. Tell me your favorite story with that.
Well, I want to start that off with when we went to Memphis for a car show. We went to a huge car show that we helped throw in Memphis, and really to see the kind of love that we got at a different state. When you're locally here known as car people, but you don't know how far that reaches when you go out to help support that Dolph family and have people just lined up to take photos and ask questions, and just to see the love from another state like that is incredible.
Tell me the truth. Like, I know what you're really feeling when we had to go to Memphis.
Now tell the other side of it.
Now break the bullshit.
Okay.
How did it really go down?
The precursor to it was going to be sketchy. Memphis is known to be sketchy.
You weren't even going to go.
Yeah, it was a coin flip on if I was going to go or not. I got kids to come home too. But the fact is, when we separated and I got to a light, I had a car that was honking next to me, wanting to roll the window down. All I'm thinking is, I don't want to lose this car today. I don't want to die today. But in turn, I did roll down the window and hear nothing but, dude, I love you guys' work. I love your car. Thanks for all the support. It's just, there was no hate at all. It was nothing but love.
With being with Justin and ACW over time, it was nothing but love coming from Memphis with like the work that you guys have done for Dolph and PRE. It was nothing but a warm welcome to Memphis, even though you were kind of like nervous coming in.
Oh, absolutely. But I've seen it there. I've seen it here. When we shot the music video for Love for the Streets, to be pulling out in one of Young Dolph's cars, to see someone on the side of the road take their hat off and put it over their chest. It's just one of those things. I looked up and was like, man, I hope you can see this. It's just a really cool moment. You don't realize how far that reached and how far music is, but it's very impactful for everyone. So it was really neat.
Now, Brian, you've been with Justin now for quite some time. You're one of his main installers now. You've been blessed to have the opportunity to work on Dolph's vehicles and stuff like that. What kind of impact has that had on you, and kind of like the legacy that you've been able to create with Justin on this Dolph camera?
I mean, to start, I'm Brian. I've been with ACW for 7 years, and about a year and a half after I started here, that's when the camo started popping off in 18, and we did the first couple cars, and I was like, this is cool, and then we did 5 more, 10 more, 20 more, and what are we, 5, 6 years later, and it's still going,
It's hundreds.
So the trend's crazy, but for me personally, it's just been really cool to work on different artists' cars, Glock's cars, Dolph's cars, and touch all the awesome cars and be around cars. Being a car guy, I really like it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible what you guys have started, and the trend that you guys have started with the Dolph wrap. It seems like everybody in this world is trying to hop on the wave and hop on the clout a little bit with this wave. So what you guys have started, the legacy that you've been able to build with the Dolph wrap is incredible.
Absolutely.
Do you ever get tired of doing them?
If I said no, it would be a lie. Yeah. You're putting twice the amount of effort and time into a camo wrap, so it'll wear on you, but I still like doing it. I still enjoy it, and the customers love it, and so I'd still enjoy it.
Do you think you do it with a lot more passion that it's a Dolph wrap when it comes to these wraps?
I put passion into every wrap I do, so no, I don't put more passion in one car over another. Every car I try to do my best on every car.
Dolph, but I think what Brian won't elaborate on is he was here with me a lot of the times when Dolph would pull up late nights, and like we just sit around, kick it, and smoke L's, and like you know what I'm saying. Dolph would pour up syrup. I remember there was a couple nights like
backing out of here in the Cullinan, and I was like, I don't know if he's straight to drive right now. In the shop going like 3 miles an hour.
Yeah. So Brian got to see all of that and be a part of all that since day one, and so this year we just from the Worldwide Rap Association won the Golden Squeegee Award for industry impact. And it's done with our camo, and it's done with myself and Brian, and is where it started, and Finn came in, and those two, I've stepped back and done a lot of other things with the business to help us grow, and these two have really taken over and filled those steps, or continued that legacy. And every single camo car is a piece of art. It's not just a wrap. It's each individual one has tendencies of myself and Brian and Finn and the way we create the line. So every time we get to do one and send it out nationwide, that's our artwork. So it's really great to be appreciated for that. And I think as an artist, which we all are, it's intimidating to see what people are going to think about your art, whether it's a video production or a vehicle wrap or a little drawing piece of art. But it's intimidating. You always wonder what people are going to think, and it's been overwhelmingly accepted, loved, and we feel appreciated for that. I think I can speak for all of us installers when I say that's the highest honor.
Now, Justin, do you think you would be where you're at without Skylar, Finn, and Brian?
No, I don't. I've never claimed to. None of us would be here without the others. I'm a very dedicated, stubborn individual, and raps are my passion. So I was gonna do this shit one way or another, and I would do it one way or another. But at the same time, I've never taken away the fact that it's an incredible team that brought us to where we are. I don't see them as employees. I don't say they work for me. They work with us, and we work together. We get shit done. Like Brian said earlier, he puts passion into every single rap. So, and they mean that shit. We mean it. That's what separates us. That's what helped build the company, and it took years of going through people. Brian's seen some people not make it half a day. We're not a shop for everyone to work at. It's just the reality of it. I want the best of the best, and I want people that are passionate, and Danielle and I have been blessed to have these guys as family. And they each bring their own individual talent that really shines. When you get to know the team, you'll see where each individual one of us has such a strong talent and skill set that complements the other.
All right, Finn, you've been with the company for a while now as well. You've known Justin for a while as well. What do you do for Justin, and then what's your favorite memory with Dolph?
So my name's Finn. I've been working here for about a little over 3 years now. I really didn't know much about the color change industry or Dolph in general.
How was your first day, Finn?
It was sketch. It was, I mean, they had almost like a SWAT training going on. And,
We did.
Yes.
Yes, Finn's first day on the job, like that was when I think right at the first of COVID, and there were riots going on everywhere, and with all the nice cars and shit in the shop, and there was no police on the roads. Like I brought in literally a tactical trainer that trained SWAT department. And we were like doing station training and drills, and Finn's like, what?
Busting out tourniquets.
Yeah.
It got deep.
Basically, like, what did I get myself into almost?
Like, I thought I was rapping.
But it was like a full 2 weeks of just like crazy stuff going on, and just like I didn't even know if I could make it past the 2 weeks. Honestly, I made it. So it was.
It hasn't really changed.
No, because I think a year later you threw out my pink chair.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
I did.
We'll forget about that one though. But I never got to meet Dolph, so that's one thing I do miss. I never got the opportunity to. Really, it was just seeing what he did for this company, almost like he's saying, family. I never knew what that was. I don't have, long story, don't have that much. So coming here was a little bit different. I saw they all work together. It's just trying to get the one job done at a time. And the passion almost the passion that everyone had here, and everything I do is with passion. So if I'm going to do it, it's going to be 100%, or I'm not going to do it at all. The first year was intimidating, gotta admit. It's very intimidating, but once you find the groove, or once you find your niche or your spot in this shop, it feels right.
And you got to meet all of the PRE family.
Yeah, that's a whole other story, like how they all stick together. And first seeing them, it was a shock, and then after you start talking to them, they're just normal people. They're just one of us, just trying to make $1 and live the next day if they can.
What's your guys' team goals for 2024 as Atlanta Custom Wraps?
Just keep growing. Just keep doing what we're doing. You know, we've never ran this business on statistics, like a typical business owner would. We run it on emotion and passion. So it's hard to say what a year goal really looks like. It looks like happiness and growth and success for everyone. I don't know that there's a written plan for it. Again, like we're always looking for the next big thing, the next big camo movement, and how to create that, and how to stay in touch with the car community and understand that culture and grow with it. So ultimately the goal is to stay relative and stay happy. If we can do that, we win.
Now, Danielle, you're the boss behind all this. You keep.
Did you guys hear that?
Can you tell me a little bit about like your favorite memory with Dolph? Because I know you've been with Justin through it all.
Oh yeah. So my favorite memory of Dolph was shortly after we started the camo. Justin and I had some pistols custom made, camo with our logo, PRE.
You can't take my favorite memory. That's my favorite memory.
But it's mine too.
I had already planned to say that. Go ahead. All right, I'm gonna let you take my favorite memory. Just know that you took it.
I mean, all right. So anyway, Dolph had no idea what we were doing. We said, we need to come see you at the studio. There were no car exchanges that were in the mix. So he was like, what's going on? And Justin's like, I just need to talk to you. So we pulled up and it was both of us, and I'm usually not with Justin at the studio.
He wasn't even at the studio.
By the time we got there and got settled in the studio, he's rolling one, and Justin starts out all emotional, and I don't even know how the story went, but I remember, Dolph just kind of stopped rolling and sat there and looked at him, and when he opened the case, it was just, he stopped and stared at it for a moment. And he's like, dog, you put your heart in this, and it really shows. And
It's okay. It's all right.
I just wish I got to soak up more moments like that. But it was really cool. He just unexpected, and it was off the hip, and he knew Justin put his heart into it, and it just meant a lot. And besides that, one of the other favorite moments was us having to wait for an hour and a half in downtown Atlanta, picking up, I think, the
That
Demon.
was a favorite moment.
Well, because we were so pissed, but that moment when we picked up that car and got back and did the camo on it, that was his favorite one. And when we delivered it in Overkill, wherever that car is, and tried to race him in it.
We did race. We raced right through
Yeah.
Atlantic Station. It was supposed to be for titles.
He said, "You crazy, man."
So no, the story Danielle was talking about though, I think once you get to a certain financial level or a certain success level, you become very difficult for people to buy for. Even personally, I'm not someone you can just buy something for at Christmas. It doesn't work that way. If I want it, I've probably already got it, or I'll just go get it, So at that certain level, I don't know. Like at that time, it meant a whole lot to me to show my appreciation in a ride or die manner. So I had 3 custom 1911 pistols made. I presented one to Brian, and That's the night we met Dolph at the studio, and I gave Dolph his. And that was we're fucking ride or die till the end, camo for life. That was a super emotional moment because it meant so much, but also Dolph knew, like he could see, and I had somehow presented him something that money couldn't buy. I mean, I say that, money did buy it, but so much heart and soul went into it. And even with Brian's, like, no matter what year it is in his life, he'll see that and know, like, Justin got my back for life, and this is something that it's a huge movement that we created. So we're fucking ride or die. Those are my three, and that was one of my happiest moments with Dolph too. So,
Brian, how did you feel when Justin gave you the pistol? Like a lot of emotion.
Yeah, it felt great. He saw the hard work I put in, so he gave it to me on Thanksgiving. We had like a meeting here, eating food, and he gave it to me. But whoever built those guns, fuck that guy, because I went to go shoot it and it didn't work properly. I almost shot my thank God I was outside, not an indoor range, but I almost shot my foot off. But he fixed it, it works just fine now. But,
I didn't do that though.
Yeah, whoever built those things. But no, it felt good.
Now, last question, Brian. I don't think I asked you your favorite memory with Dolph. Like,
Yeah, I got one.
what's your,
He said, "Yeah, damn, yeah."
So it was around when we were wrapping the C8 maybe, and we also had his Aventador in here that he was giving away. And every day I usually play a different genre of music, and he was in here every day that week. And he came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, who's this?" And I was like, "Are you serious, dude?" And it was Eminem, Marshall Mathers, LP. And I was like, "This is one of the best albums ever made, bro." So I say all that. I feel like I might have put him on to some Eminem. Maybe he was listening to it. After that, I don't know, but that was a cool moment. And he was like, "Who is this, man?" I was like, "This is one of the most famous rapper ever." Yeah, that was a good one, though.
Yeah, you did. You got to. I remember that day. You schooled Dolph on some music.
Justin, thank you so much for having me, man. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you a ton.
Welcome.
I'm blessed to be here with you and sitting with you today.
Same here.
It's an honor. I'm gonna get a little emotional, but
It's all good. This place kind of brings it out in people.
to be here sitting with you today means a lot. I know it sounds silly for YouTube, but I don't think people understand the magnitude of being here today. So I really want to thank you for the hospitality, your whole crew, your wife. I really appreciate it.
Like 2012 is when I actually opened Atlanta Custom Wraps. I think it really honestly like started when I was a kid though, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather was a moonshiner, my dad was a mechanic. Like I was always around cars and taking shit apart and putting it back together. So that passion for cars started when I was a kid and just continued to grow and at a certain point I found myself like making a living street racing bikes and cars and in Atlanta at the time, like it was a big hustle and a lot of the football players and different rappers and artists would have bikes or have cars that were fast, but they didn't necessarily drive or ride themselves. And somehow with another buddy of mine, we ended up being those dudes that would get called and, "Hey, be down here at 3, 4 in the morning, you know what I'm saying? And you can drive this car or whatever, ride this bike." And so being in the street racing world really gave me a handful of connections in the city, like with people that were making moves and doing things. And then 2012, like a big thing with street racing is eventually they'll figure out like, okay, this white Corvette is the one you don't want to fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so my thought process was like, all right, well, cool. If I can make this white Vet blue and pull up, then they won't know who it is, you know. And so that's kind of how it started. And we, I did a car in my garage, and like one of the things I had seen at that time, you know, color change wraps were still pretty new. And so, and most of the guys in color or in vehicle wraps, period, get into the industry from the graphic side of things. So they work at a small sign shop,
Right.
get some experience with a squeegee, you know, whatever. And I was just the opposite. I didn't do that, but I knew how to work on cars. So in the beginning, like when I would look at a wrap, they wouldn't take the door handles out, or they wouldn't pull the bumpers off, or, you know, certain things like that. And even when we did the car in the Corvette in the garage, it was like, all right, like I can pull the bumper off. That ain't shit.
Yeah,
you know what
course.
I'm saying? Like, and so I think by doing that and focusing on like seamless, solid color wraps, where you didn't know if that car had been changed. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I got passionate about that. And Future Hendrix, like he was big at the time, but like not astronomical big, you know, like not out of space big. And him and his brother moved around in the streets and was doing this and that, and we got linked up. He gave me an opportunity to wrap one of his cars, and he was so impressed. You know, he actually came to our house and picked it up. That's how early on it was. And I didn't have a shop at the time. And so, but he was so impressed. Like, I remember him telling my son, like your dad's great and your dad's gonna be something. And so that like really sparked yeah, I'm gonna be something you'll be proud of. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And to have an artist telling my son he sees that in me, I guess invoked some confidence. And so, and after he picked that up, man, it was like one right after another, like follow me to the house, get this one. When you get done with this one, y'all come get this one, you come get this one. And next thing I know, like my wife and I are driving down the highway in 2 Lambos, like, you know what I'm saying? And that lifestyle that, I don't know, I can't say that I like dreamed it would get to this level.
Right.
Or that I would know the people I know or have the relationships that I have. That was never the goal. The goal was to just, I want to work on cars, I want to play with cars, and I happen to be really good at wraps and found passion. And I find it very soothing when you do a vehicle, and to see that progression of the vehicle and see it changing. It's a very drastic change, but yet it happens very quickly, especially in this shop. So we're constantly getting that gratification when you get to see it done. And then this is just a whole nother level. But yeah, that's how it started, man. Like just some passion for cars in the garage.
Obviously, everybody knows, a lot of people know whose cars these are right behind us and right here. But for those that don't know whose cars these are Young Dolphs, obviously.
They are.
Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Dolph, how you guys met, and where it took off from there to have this Dolph movement?
Yeah,
with the
somebody
camera
passed me a drink and a smoke. Take a minute. Like, it was one hell of a ride, my friend. But it all started like my boy Rollo. For those of y'all don't know, Rollo Fam Goon. Rollo is a rapper out of Atlanta, but also ran the Bluffs. I don't have to go into too much detail about the Bluffs, but the Bluffs is one of those places you don't want to find yourself in Atlanta. And Rollo was the man. Him and I were close and had been friends for a while, and had a great relationship, and Rollo really showed me a lot of love. And when Dolph came from Memphis, like, of course he connected with the streets. Like, that's just who Dolph was. So him and Rollo, you know, chopped it up, and we're making music and different shit. And Rollo hit me up like, hey, I want you to fuck with my boy Young Dolph. And at the time, like, Dolph had music out, but like it wasn't. He was a Memphis rapper, like, you know what I'm saying?
He wasn't
like,
there yet.
He wasn't on that world stage are on my radar. I'm fucking with Future and Young Thug and Jeezy and these other artists, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So for me at the time, I'm looking at it like, all right, you're another rapper that wants to make it. Like every rapper that calls me wants to make it. You know what I'm saying? So, but Rallo gave him that credit, and Rallo gave me that credit. So naturally, like when he hit me and was like, "Yo, I need you to holler at my boy," I knew I had to take care of Dolph, like right then, and he knew like I was the one to deal with, and it was he had a 488 that he wanted orange chrome. Like I showed him every color I could show him, man. And I'm like, bro, like you can pick all these other oranges, but orange chrome didn't exist at the time. Like, so what I had to do was like I had to take regular chrome and a colored laminate, and make this shit. And so that was like a 101, and we nailed it. The car looked great, you know. Dolph put it right in the video, you know, right away, and that started the relationship. But we also like that. The funny story behind that shit was I had the Ferrari in the shop, and Dolph had hit me like, "Yo, I'm going to Charlotte. Like, I got a show in Charlotte on Ferrari. Is it done?" And I'm like, "Bro, I just finished this car. Like, just leave it with me right now. Don't take it on this trip. Like just leave it with me." You know what I'm saying? And they shot it. Like, you know, that was where 100 Shots came from.
100 shots. 100 shots. How the fuck you miss a whole 100 shots?
Yeah, and I always felt with him like, bro, you know you only here because I wouldn't let you take the Rari, and we always joked about it. And he wouldn't have been in the Rari anyway, you know, he wasn't gonna leave a show in the Rari, but the point was like, you know what I'm saying, I always felt with him like, bro, I saved you on that one, and that really bonded our relationship, and then we just like, he kept inviting me to the studio, and I was in and out of Atlanta, like picking up different artists' cars and working with different people. So he kept hitting me up about this like idea, and he'd have me down at the studio, and I swear like that shit was so frustrating, bro. Like at the time, like I look back now and I wish I could get those moments back. I really do. If I've got regret, it's like not. That's what it is. It's not seeing the moment in the moment. But like then, I had done the car with him. Like he had spent money with me, but not like. So I had done 30, 40 cars for free bands, you know. Right. So at that time, like him inviting me to the studio and shit, like I would go down and kick it. But at the same time, I'm like, he would say, "Come on, let's come down here. We'll figure out what we're gonna do with these cars." And I'm like, "All right, cool." But I'm standing around in the studio, like, "Bro, are we gonna figure out what we're doing with these cars, or are we gonna just fucking smoke weed all day?" And we were listening to the music, you know what I'm saying? And I know now what he was trying to do was get me to see the picture. Like he wanted me to see a part of his vision and where he wanted it to go.
Based off of him rapping?
Off of the music. Like you have to understand the music and the meaning behind it, and what it was representing at the time, and so in my head, like if you're waiting for a customer, you know what I'm saying? You're
Absolutely.
Like, man, come on, pick a color. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is days of us just kicking it in the studio time after time. Like
I could be at the shop right now, like help my boys out.
Well, that was it. It was like, bro, like
I'm sure you were busy as hell.
I got a business too, man, and then like I don't know, like one of the days at the studio kept going back and forth like with ideas, and it was the song Major was playing in the studio, and that was when he was recording the Role Model album, and it was like, fuck it, bro. If we're gonna go to war, let's go to war. Like, let's fucking. He came to me like, and I'll never forget him saying like, at that time you would see, you know, maybe like 6 or 7 cars in Dubai in the driveway that were all gold chrome.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget Dolph being like, we gotta top that shit. And I'm looking at color decks like there's only so many fucking colors. So
Unfortunately,
you know what I'm saying?
there's
Well,
not much you could do to like try
that's
to top
right.
something.
Like there's
gold
only so much, you know. And it came to be like, fuck it, let's dress them for war, and let's let the whole world know, you know, we're here, you know. Like, so it was like the hardest shit that it's camo, so it's supposed to. You know, it's ironic that the shit stands out so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was designed, God only knows when, to camouflage things, to hide things, but yet it's the hardest shit that just stands out.
It's the loudest statement.
It is, man. And I still didn't get it, like, I mean, even, like, you know, when we decided to do the camo, it was like, bro, it has to be these, like, perfect colors. Like, I had to pick the perfect blend, you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And then draw the shit out in my head. I'm not a computer guy, so, like, I can't get on the computer and just put the shit that's in my head, so really, I was like, bro, you got to just give me a bunch of fucking money and a couple of cars, and like, we're gonna see what happens with the shit. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
But he had that trust in you.
He did, and I had that street credit of like, I ain't gonna fuck around with your money and nothing like that. I ain't playing games, but so he did, and he gave me 2. And I came back and did them, and I'll never forget that night either. Like, well, let me go back by saying, Danielle and I are at the house, you know, and he hits me up. He's like, "Yo, meet me in the city. Meet me here." He had a spot where, like, you know what I'm saying, he felt comfortable, and so anyway, he's like, "Meet me here at this time." So cool. Come on. So Danielle and I, like, we live out in the country. Ride all the way down to the city, and I know this motherfucker's gonna be late. Like, I expect that shit. When he's like, I'm pulling in now, I know he's gonna be late, but that's what I'm thinking, 20, 30 minutes, right? So Danielle and I are sitting in the parking lot smoking, and this is a secluded ass fucking parking lot in downtown Atlanta where like you probably want one in the chamber, and you know what I'm saying? It was just one of the, and Danielle and I are sitting there in a nice ass car, like waiting on Dolph to pull up, you know.
Like any minute.
Yeah, Dolph. And I text, like he had always like 15 minutes out, 20 minutes out, getting close. And I don't know how, it was probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours went by of us sitting in this parking lot, and I'm like, fuck this motherfucker. Danielle and I leave. She's like, are you serious? You don't want to wait? I'm like, fuck him, man. I ain't playing games. Like, he playing fucking games. We're halfway home. Oh, shit. He hits me. I knew that shit was gonna happen. I'm looking at Danielle like, man, fuck this. I don't even want to take his call. Fuck this motherfucker. I'll call him tomorrow, you know. And she's like, we're already out in the car. Just answer the phone. I answer, I tell him like, man, fuck you. I've been in the parking lot 2 hours, blah, you know. He's laughing, bro, turn your ass around. I'm sitting here right now, like, and we fucking did, but I swear I was this close to not turning around, and this shit would have never happened. Like, I don't know if it was God that made us, you know what I'm saying, that helped me make that decision, because normally I wouldn't. Normally I would have just been like, fuck it, man.
Turn the other cheek and go.
I'm gone. You know, whatever, but...
So Dolph presented this idea to you with the camera.
We went back. Him and I kind of came up with it together, man.
Very nice.
Like we really did. He gave me the creative freedom on it, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, we decided we were going to go camo, but it couldn't be a camo that was already printed or already out. It had to be
fully custom.
It had to be completely unique, but yet identifiable anywhere in the world. Like,
Look at
they
this.
have to be one of one, but they all have to look like a unit. So
And they do.
So that was like the challenge as a creator or an artist of like, okay, I got this really expensive, a crazy expensive fleet of vehicles, and I got to make them all look similar enough that if you see them together, or if you even don't, if you see them separate, they're a part of this.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? So that's where I did signature things like the ivory around the headlights and the way the brown and the green meet on the fronts and split, and there's small characteristics that are Justin, that are embedded into the camo no matter who does it. And that was cool, like that was a challenge, and I really, really enjoyed it. And even then, bro, like Dolph and I really developed a relationship then. That's when it I guess we solidified our relationship. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? That's when we went from being friends to on the verge of being family. And then I remember him telling me this shit's gonna be so major, it's gonna be so big, and I remember sitting in the studio, him and I just one-on-one talking, he's like, bro, this shit, I'm telling you, this shit gonna change your life forever. Nothing, it's not gonna be the same. You're not coming back from this.
Did you believe it?
And I did and I didn't. Dolph was so, if he said some shit, he said some shit. If he said I love you, he said I love you. He said fuck you, he meant fuck you. He was very, so yes and no. I believed the passion was there. I believed he was going to do everything in his power to do exactly what it did. But in today's world, it's hard to believe any profession that we will achieve worldwide impact.
Absolutely.
As a creator, you create content and you think every video is great, and even the ones you think, man, this is the one that's going to go viral, this has got to hit, this is crazy, and this shit flops.
Always does the worst.
You know what I'm saying? So
Always does the worst.
So at the same time,
We're optimistic.
I did believe that if anyone could do it, it would be him, and he had a vision that the world wasn't expecting. So he had the opportunity to shock. We had the opportunity to shock, and we did. Even when the camo shit was hitting, he was like, bro, we're gonna come up with the next shit.
Right.
We gotta do the next shit, and we were always challenging each other to one up what we had already created.
Did you kind of look at him as a mentor in that way, where
Absolutely.
even though he's younger than you
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, did you look up to him and his dedication, his hard work to his craft?
Absolutely, man. Dolph was a big role model to me. I've had a few in my life. I think I am religious. I don't push it on anybody, but I believe God put certain people in my life at a certain time for a certain reason, and that's just what I believe in. And I've been blessed to be mentored by some of the greatest kings of their industry. Maybe and of all time, in my opinion. Like I said, it started with Future, and no one can deny his success. And so to have that kind of support, and you have to listen to every word when you're around people of that level, and really take from it and absorb it, and
Absolutely.
and think about it not like a normal person would. So I've taken things from Future and conversations that we've had that have motivated me and inspired things over the years. Cat Williams was extremely inspirational and a huge part of my life and success. But Dolph was the one Dolph got me at a time where, in his own words, he gave me traction. So he didn't give me the skill to do it. He didn't start my business for me. I was gonna be okay one way or the other.
Of course.
But Dolph showed me love and family and opportunity, and cared about my family, and that, you know, so that makes him extremely special to me.
Absolutely.
Him and I probably got to spend the most amount of time together. Like, he was such a car dude, and this is a safe place. So like, there was a lot of times when Dolph was in Atlanta, he'd hit me up and just pull up. It wouldn't be about no cars or money or none of that shit. Like, we're just sitting in the, like, you know, sitting here in the showroom, looking at shit, talking about shit, and kicking it. So there's a lot of those moments that I keep playing in my memory. You know what I'm saying? And trying to continuously take things that he said and told me, and look at them in a way that helps me progress.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, unfortunately, Young Dolph passed away November 17th of 2021, and his legacy now lives on. But do you remember where you were at when you first got that phone call that Dolph had passed?
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, man, again, I think God put me, I was exactly where I was supposed to be when I was supposed to be there. Dolph and I had matching C8s. The only difference was his had blue stripes and blue on the wheels. But at the time, we were the only two C8s in camo. And he was in Tennessee, and I happened to be in Tennessee with my buddy Daryl Killboy and Skylar, my boy Gavin and Cody Whistling Diesel. We're all up there filming content, and we're at the Tail of the Dragon. So
Okay.
there's no cell service or nothing, you know. And we stopped at one of our little spots for lunch at the hub and got internet connection. I got some text messages, and my phone was blowing up. And man, it that's when it sank in, like, the shit. At first, like, you know, like, they tried to shoot at Dolph. I mean, they tried to get Dolph like so many times. It was like, oh shit, maybe this shit ain't real, you know what I'm saying? And then I just got a text from PRE, like, you know, this shit is real. So it hit, like, but lucky for me, like the mountain is where that's my escape from life. And so thankfully I was around some amazing people that were extremely positive and uplifting and there to support me. And we were in a place where I find a lot of peace and happiness. And I think I was right where I was supposed to be when I found out.
That's good.
And so we, you know, it definitely changed our day, but I was in the mountains with my friends, and we all took a moment and then ran back to the cabin, and yeah, that was a shitty day.
I can only imagine the emotion, the pain through all of that. I mean, just for me, myself, not even being related to Dolph or having any relations, just the passion of his music, the passion of people that he's touched through everything. I mean, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and, you know, 1 million plus people worldwide. Do you have any regrets?
Oh yeah, of
with,
course I got regrets.
with Dolph?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I know we spoke about a few times on the phone, you know, talking about not having a lot of pictures and stuff together and stuff like that. Is there anything else that you regret?
Man, there's, you know, like I've lost some people in my life. Honestly, I've lost some since Dolph that have impacted my life insanely, and it's always difficult, especially when it's someone close to you. I've handled them all quite differently. You know, the thing about Dolph was, love him or hate him, like he was gonna live his life and wasn't gonna change shit for no fucking body, and you couldn't tell him shit. Like, he wasn't afraid of nobody, and that's unfortunately the life like that. That's a dangerous life, when you're an artist and you're in Memphis or from Memphis, and to go to Memphis in one of these cars, honestly, that's the scariest I've ever been, and it's the only time I've ever felt like a celebrity. Memphis, we went with PRE and did a show, and I was terrified. Like I had to I brought 15 camo cars into Memphis, and of course we're all strapped and got ones in the chamber, but I also don't want to end up in a shootout. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And at that time I wasn't inducted into PRE yet, so I'm just Dolph's old friend, you know what I'm saying, with a bunch of camo cars anyway, like it was terrifying to go to Memphis, but at the same time we left Memphis feeling like celebrities. Like Memphis came up to us and showed us so much love. I think Dolph really felt like he was safe enough to do that. You know what I'm saying? And move within the city, but the reality is like that fucking life is dangerous, man. And that's, so I say that to say, I think I've always, I know with all my other friends that are in that industry, like that's a chance that they take. I'm into driving fast cars on the mountain. That's my passion. That's outside of work, and it's a very dangerous hobby too. And I make sure my family knows there's a day I may not come home from it. That's a very big possibility. And if that's how it does for me, like I was smiling and happy and don't be sad. I can't say that Dolph wanted to go out the way he did. I don't believe that. But what I do know is he wanted to live his life, and he didn't want to have, he wanted to be able to get in his car, drive down the road, and do whatever the fuck he wanted. And that's exactly what he did. So
seems like the thing with Dolph too is like he kind of spoke his mind in his music.
Oh yeah, he did.
There's a lot of diss tracks that he put out, and he just
he knew what he was doing, bro. Like he knew what he was doing, and he was about that shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying it's okay. I ain't saying like I ain't mad or none of that shit. I'm just saying he knew the chance he took when he did what he did. Like
absolutely.
I know the chance I take when I get in that car and go down the Dragon. So I handle those differently. At the same time, I've lost people. I've lost someone really close to me unexpectedly, and I handle that shit a lot differently.
Of course.
Because it's just. So I think we all handle that shit differently. When Dolph passed, after going through the emotion of sadness, and I felt like I had to step up. And I had to go hard for him, for Mia, for Trey, for Danielle and Brian and Finn, like everyone. We were so close and doing so much for PRE that like without really knowing it, I had changed my entire business. So like whether I posted about it or not, and it got to a point that like for a while I just didn't post about the shit. But like we were doing it every single day. The shop was just packed out. Like you might not see just a standard color change. It was just all camo cars for days and days and days, for a long time. So after Dolph's passing, there was fear. Like there was fear, but also like prayed about it, and I talked to the family about it, and Dolph was all about getting the money, and even told me like on several occasions how proud he was of all the success that we had had with the camo, and like how it had benefited ACW and my family. So, but when you got a friend like that you're that close with and you're doing that much business with, like I unintentionally catered our whole shop around Dolph. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, in a phone call, your boy's gone. Like so it was hard, man. Like it was, for a minute it was like shit, do we do the camo, like, or is that the end of it? And I just know Dolph, like he would want me to make that shit bigger than it ever fucking was. I can hear him telling me, like, you know what I'm saying? And And so I talked to Daddy O and the CEO of PRE, and like we had a good sit down, and it was like, man, I swear to God, I'll never rap another fucking thing camo if you say the word. And he was like, bro, I swear to God, if you don't fucking keep doing this shit, like you better keep doing this shit. You do this shit till the day the doors close. Like, so.
Stay at your full approval, keeping the legacy
yeah,
alive.
Yeah, I mean, and even at the time, like, I didn't understand how important it was. It was like, it's just a rap. You know what I'm saying? A rap's a rap, and it ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just a sticker. You know what I'm saying? But Daddy-O helped me realize, like, that shit's more than a rap. That shit raises questions. To the people who don't know what it is, they see a camo car going down the road, they're looking up shit like camo car, you know, what do they see? They see PRE, Dolph, ACW, like, so it's feeding all of our families, and that person may not know Dolph and then stream his music. Well, guess who gets paid from it? His family does, you know what I'm saying? Or they decide to buy merch, or even if they do know it, it may put them in a different zone of like we're gonna rock Dolph today. All right, cool, now he's getting that stream, you know what I'm saying? So one way or another, it does so many things. It keeps the name, you know, like people, I get it a lot, like people like, man, you clout chasing, you this, that, or you know, why is it always gotta be Dolphin? Like, eventually I was inducted into PRE, and you know, that family showed us so much love and so much appreciation, and we're so close to, like, yeah, that camo's our shit. That's what we do. We're PRE, ACW till the end, and so I've been asked to keep the legacy going with the camo, and camo of the world is what we came up with, like, so.
It's like, how do you not show Dolph love? And you know, when people say you're clout chasing off of it, it's like they just don't understand the bond.
They have no fucking idea.
They don't understand everything you all went through to get where you're at today. So it's like, how, as a friend of Dolph, as a brother of Dolph, and PRE and the family, it's like, how do you not keep Dolph's name alive?
That's it, man. That's it, and it's important. It's important, like, to keep the label's name out and alive, and that helps. Like, the ripple effect that it has is so dramatic, Tyler. Like it's crazy to think, like this camo shit helps promote PRE and Glock and Jay Fizzle and Big Mooch and so many, and Snoop, and so many artists that, like, and then that supports their families.
Absolutely.
And even here within the shop, Danielle and I have been able to support our employees and put money in pockets to people that need it and deserve
Everybody
it.
eats.
And that's right. And so it's, you know, that's a huge blessing.
Well, speaking off that though, I mean, the trend is so big with the Dolph rap. I mean, you have other shops outside of Atlanta Custom Raps copying the trend and hopping on. And speaking of clout chasing, like, I know this is gonna hurt some feelings, but you know, there's a lot of rap people out there, rap shops that try to mimic the Dolph rap.
Yep.
How do you feel about? In my personal opinion, it's a trademark. It's a statement of the business itself.
That's right.
How do you feel about other shops copying, you know, the Dolph design? You know, people always say, like, oh, but it's a military, like, it's camo, like, it's, I get it. Like, I totally understand where you guys are coming from with this, but it's bigger than just a camo.
The military didn't do it like I did it.
Exactly. And so it's like, it's bigger than just camo. And so when you see other people copying, like, you know, how you have like the cream around the eye, like the headlights and all that, and basically to a T, but like, you know, I switched up this and I switched up that, but you know, how do you feel at the end of the day about? Do you feel, you know, grateful that you set a trend with it? Do you feel a little bit, you know, uneasy about it? A little bit, you know, mad about it?
Both, all the above, and I went through several different emotions about it over the years. You know, like, Dolph hated it, especially in the beginning, in the early years. Like, I remember Dodge did that shit, and they did a Demon and copied his, and put it out in the dealership in LA, and I think he sued them. I know he went in on the motherfuckers on social media. You know what I'm saying? And in the beginning, I think, him and I both were just fucking lit, because they've been copying us for years, bro.
Absolutely.
Since we dropped that shit, they've been copying us. So in the beginning years, Dolph and I both, mad as a motherfucker when we see somebody copy that shit.
Because you worked hard to get to where you're at with the trend.
The time and the effort, people don't understand how much time went into the original layouts and putting that shit together. It's easy to trace something. It's hard to create something.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's different if I give you a piece of paper with an outline and I say, trace that shit. Or if I give you a blank piece of paper and say, create greatness. You know what I'm saying? So that shit really didn't sit well with us. Eventually we copyrighted it, and I thought, I'll copyright this design and that'll prevent people from doing it, but that shit don't prevent nobody from doing shit. And the reality is the amount of money to hire our legal team to go after them and then just say, oh, well, I only charge them $3,000 for the rap.
It's almost worthless.
It's bro, so Daddy-O helped me see it in a different light. He really, after Dolph's passing, he really stepped into that role, but on a different level, more of a dad. I have a great dad.
Of course.
I'm not taking anything away. I'm just saying, Daddy, I feel like Daddy-O treats me like a son. I know he does.
Really looked out for you.
Yeah, and so, I'd express to him, I got this copyright, and you being PRE and the label and having trademarks to Dolph's signature, this, that, I'm the only one, that you've approved to use Dolph's signature and to do this camo with y'all, let's go after these people that are copying us, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, Justin, fuck them people, bro, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. No, I'm saying fuck them, and he's like, bro, it don't matter, they copied that shit. The motherfucker that's driving the car gotta know he in a fake, and the motherfucker doing it, he ain't creative enough to come up with his own shit, and he ain't gonna promote his company, because what they think when they see somebody see this shit driving down the road. Exactly. They ain't thinking about dickhead Sean Shaw that just copied your rap, bro. They think
ACW.
Dolph, PRE, and ACW. Those are the three things they think in the order they think it, and you're one of them that gets paid. You know what I'm saying?
So he basically shifted your thinking about it, because obviously when you set a trend this high and set something so high in the world for the rap world especially, I could get where the built up anger comes from, and the frustration of people copying you, it's just like any other trend.
It's like this, if somebody, let's say you see somebody out at a nice restaurant wearing a Rolex, right? If it's a fake Rolex, they're putting on like it's real.
Oh, of course.
You're not walking up asking them if it's real, and they're not telling you it's a fake.
No.
You feel me? So those people that are out riding around in a fake, they know they got fake shit, and they ain't do nothing for the family or the movement or the cause. So every rap we do, we donate to the family. We're always doing shit for the family. And Daddy-O called me at 2, 3 in the morning. I need you to do this, that, and the other. I get the fuck up and I do this, that, and the other. Not because he's paying me or because he is who he is. It's because he's family. Thanks. And if Danielle called him at 2 in the morning, Justin need this,
he'll drop everything.
He'll drop every fucking thing, and there will be somebody here with what I need immediately.
So at the end of the day, it's all authentic.
So it's a family, bro. And that we give back. Every single camo rap we're doing is to help Trey and Mia and PRE and Glock and everyone involved. It's on every level. Like, so that's the part that pisses me off, is that they're not really giving back, those people. You know what I'm saying?
Just for the clout.
But at the same time, that's it, bro. Like, if it's about the clout, then like, fuck you. I still feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But
That's understandable.
But at the same time, it's really like, it's an honor too, because shit, I did something 5 years ago. You motherfuckers still dying to get today. Like, that's an honor. That's a huge honor. And this shit's still winning shows and going viral and growing. And I don't think it's gonna, like, in the beginning, we thought like this shit's only gonna last so long. It's a trend. Like, trend's gonna move in, trend's gonna move out, and didn't think. But with Dolph's passing, it became something else. It became,
Absolutely.
if Dolph was still here, then the camo should be old. Like,
Yeah,
let's
that's
face
true.
it. If Dolph was still here, I don't think we'd be rapping cars camo. I know we wouldn't. Like,
It'd be a whole different
I
trend
know
that
Dolph
you're
and
trying to
I
set.
would have some whole other shit we would be pushing. Like,
Absolutely.
But because of Dolph's passing, this shit ain't going nowhere no time soon.
Never.
It really is the hardest shit that stands out. Like, going down the road, you could have a beautiful McLaren, all pretty in diamond white, and it's gonna get some attention. But you pull up with a camo Charger, and people are gonna be like, "Is that motherfucking camo?" Like, what is he doing? So that shit, I mean, it's just gonna continue to work.
Now with all your camo wraps that you do for the Dolph wraps, you have a signature logo on there, and you have each one numbered.
Yes.
You were talking about stopping at 100,
Yep.
but talking with you and the wife today, you got about 9 or 10 more.
That's right.
So how would you guys feel if we did a feature with Justin and ACW and his team and wrapped one of the giveaway cars a Dolph camo wrap? Let us know right now in the comments below, how would you feel about that? I think it would be absolutely incredible, but let us know in the comments below. But you got about 9 or 10 more until you cap it with like the Dolph signature, right?
With the tribute.
With the tribute.
Yep. So, so when Dolph passed, like, a lot of these manufacturers had issues when COVID hit, right?
Right.
Like,
3M, Avery,
yeah,
Cape,
3M had
everybody.
to change focus to like their medical side and mask, and so there was like all kinds of turmoil in the rap industry, and these companies were cutting back where they were only producing the highest selling colors, like their main colors. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So like the brown we use in our camo. Have you ever seen a fucking brown car? Like,
Never.
I've never wrapped one. It's probably not gonna happen. 3M basically makes that shit for our camo.
Right.
But at that time, like, I don't know, like, once Dolph passed and as soon as we like got through our initial grieving process and had talked to PRE and the family, and they had let us know like you're gonna keep doing this. Like, it wasn't even really a question. It was Daddy-O saying you're gonna keep doing this shit. I had called the distributors, like, and Danielle really did all the work. I didn't. I just asked her to, but Danielle called every distributor in the country, like, these specific colors we need, and they were discontinued. Like, 3M discontinued the brown and the ivory that we use, and that was another blow of like, fuck, man, we just lost Dolph, and now you're telling me like I can't get these colors. I can't change these colors. It'll never be the same.
Right.
Like, it's not the same if it ain't the same. So, so we got together all the money we could, and we bought every single bit in the country. Like, buy it all. And I did the math on it, and it ironically came out to 100 cars, where I would have enough material to do 100 cars. And so I hit up Daddy-O, like, yo, this is what I was able to scrounge together. I can do 100 camo cars. He's like, run it. That's great. and so that's where 100 Tribute came in, and Danielle and I dedicated ourselves in the shop to give back to the family and to do those 100 cars at nearly no profit to us, to support the cause and everyone involved. So that's where the 100 came from, and in that process, you know, we've had several other talks that PRE's like, you know, this shit ain't, you can't stop. And so obviously I went to 3M and opened some eyes to the movement, and the higher ups did some math on it and decided, like, all right, we're not going to discontinue these colors, we're going to keep them going. I wanted to name them ACW colors, but I didn't get that. So we got them to continue making the colors, but the 100 car tribute, in my opinion, it has to be special, and it will be. And so Danielle and I are putting together some things now that will pay tribute to everyone who participated in that 100 car tribute, and make sure that their names are embedded in that part of history, to be the first 100 people to step up and show support for Dolph and his family, and that'll be presented to his kids and wife. And we're working with PRE to do a video shoot with as many of them as we can. Some of them have, unfortunately, over time have been wrecked or sold or whatnot. So our original goal was to have 100 camo vehicles going down 75 north, headed towards Memphis, you know, with 100 cars on 75 all together. But that's, as you can imagine,
A lot.
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. So, you know, we've come up with some different ideas, and we have to continue the Dolph camo. Like,
Absolutely.
the demand's there for it, the support's there for it. So it would be unjust to end it. I think the next thing for us is holographic logos, so that every single car that comes in will be stamped with a holographic printout of the vehicle, the number it was, and whatnot. We may not put it over the headlight past 100, but stamp the car in some way
Make
that
it
you
authentic.
know it's authentic.
Exactly.
And it can't be duplicated, and that you'll know when you purchase that it goes towards PRE and the family.
I love that. Now, working closely with Glock too, you wrapped, I mean, people know yellow tape from, if you're a Glock fan, like, you know, most people are going to be watching this video are, you know, glaucoma, you know, yellow tape, raps about his, you know, his yellow whips all the time. You know, he's got his Rolls Royce, he had his Urus. I mean, he had a lot of yellow cars. Now,
Are they all yellow?
exactly. So, when are you guys gonna drop that for the world to see what the new trend is gonna be?
Yeah, so, you know, Glock and I go way back because of Dolph, obviously. And we've had our ups and downs over the years. Glock's young and I'm old and stubborn. So, but Glock showed me a lot of love, man, and we're a part of the same family.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of love and respect there, and I, you know, initially, like, we did all his cars in camo, and then he, understandably as an artist, wanted to differentiate, you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
so I guess right at Dumb and Dumber album, like, everything switched to yellow. And that's been his thing. I can't tell you yet what the next color is, but I can tell you I have done the entire fleet and some new shit. And
How many cars?
I can't say. I can tell you every one of them you've seen on the album cover have been done. So
It looks good. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
It looks really good.
It
But
is.
I think that's gonna be a new wave that could hit.
I believe so. I do, man. And Glock's got some big plans. You know, it's cool to see his growth. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
and part of Dolph come out and Glock and like just naturally, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it hit a new spark for him too. Like, I mean, the way he's hustling right now.
you don't have a choice, bro. Like understand again, like like it's a family, but we all have roles to play. You know what I'm saying? Glock has a role to play for the family. So whether he was ready for it, wanted it, or didn't, like he got his moment to grieve, and he's still grieving. We all are, but at the same time, Glock understands like he has to take that wisdom and knowledge, and he has to put on the show.
He's the example now, and so like a lot of people look up to him now, and like obviously,
that's it. Like,
as you guys know from 8080 YouTube videos, I use a lot of Glock in my background music and a lot of stuff for my cinematics. So Glock is a huge inspiration to not only me but all of us here in this room. So you know, I think, you know, what, like you said, whether he was ready or not, he had to step up to the plate and be that example now for him.
I couldn't imagine being in his position. You know, for me, like, I'll never forget Daddy-O and I having a conversation in my office, and like he explained to me, you know, he's like, Justin, you've been a soldier for so long, like for years you've been out in the streets doing cars, you know, helping us with this, helping us with that, and you've been a loyal soldier to PRE. He presented my charm to me on my birthday and said, now it's time to be a general. And what he meant by that was like, now it's time to lead another generation. So it's up to me to take the knowledge and wisdom I have and teach the next generation to do what we've done and follow our lead so it provides for them. And so if I go from a soldier to a general, imagine what Glock was to, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how much higher you could get.
I don't know.
But I know the responsibility that lies on me alone for just the fleet of cars and shows that we're involved with and different things that we do for the label. Like, again, it's that if you get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning,
it's gonna
you're gonna get the fuck out of bed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so if that's the, you know, if that's the weight I carry on my shoulders, imagine what Glock has on his. Not to mention, you know, the war's still going. Like, this shit ain't over.
Unfortunately.
That's the saddest part of it all. So yeah, Glock's got, you know, and he's doing a great job at it. He's putting music out. He's taking videos to another level. Like,
his content has gotten crazy better. His music, I mean,
like,
dude, it's incredible to see his growth, because it's like, you know, off Dumb and Dumber album, I mean, him and Dolph went crazy. I mean, produced some of the best hits that, I mean, I still bump to this day.
They had a lot of fun making that shit, I assure you.
But man, now that where he's at, I mean, it's crazy to see how much more passion, how much more harder he's going at it. I mean, like you said, he has no other choice. But you know, it's crazy to see where he's at now with it.
Glock's gonna be one of those artists that like ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Well, Danielle, welcome. Thank you so much for your time and, you know, having me here. I'm very grateful to be here with you guys, sitting here with you guys today. Tell me a little bit about how you guys met and everything.
How did we meet, Danielle? You better be truthful.
How do you want me to say this? Actually, so I had known about him before I met him, and he, even before I knew him, always had cool cars. So I would always ask people, like, who's that guy in that, I don't know what you had, Mustang or a Tahoe at the time. And anyway, so ironically, I worked at a drugstore in the pharmacy in the drive-through window. He had come by.
I've rapped about that shit. So not heard, but you know what I'm saying?
Came for a prescription, whatever. He was in a cool car, so of course it caught my attention. But it happened a few more times, and one time I just jokingly said, "Can I run away with you?" And honestly, that sparked the conversation and a few dates, and the rest is, as you can see, it's a crazy ride. I had no idea the passion he had for cars at the time. You know, when we first got together, he kind of clean slated his life and got rid of all of that stuff. And I had no idea what a fast car was. So once we started acquiring those items, and I kind of realized like, this is a whole new world. Like I didn't know what kind of community it was until we got further into it. And it's just, it's a cool, close-knit family. And no matter what side of the industry you're in, everybody kind of comes together in a way and supports each other, the real ones. And that's really cool to see. But it's been a very, very cool roller coaster. Working together is a challenge, but between him and I, it won't, it really wouldn't work any other way. Like it
Absolutely.
would. So we've kind of grown up together with this shop in a way.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, it's incredible to see your guys' success and where you guys started as, you know, ACW from the beginning, and learning about your guys' story as a couple, you know, building this together. You know, obviously you have a strong relationship with PRE because of your relationship with your husband and everything, and with the business side of things.
I think she even built her own relationship with PRE.
I kind of had to. It was, in the beginning, it was odd because I'm essentially the bill collector, right? So, and those are the types of people that you don't want to really hand a bill or talk about the bill. You know, it's just kind of an unspoken thing, even though it's spoken about. So I would be that person that kind of had to, like, when they were all excited about picking up the car, like, drop a little bit of reality of like, hey, don't forget about me. Don't forget to pay the lady. Like, so there was a little bit of a challenge sometimes because Dolph realized, like, you know, I meant business when it came to that. Or whenever he'd call and say, are y'all done with that car yet? Like, Dolph, we just got it last night. You know, we're trying, but man, let me talk to my boy. And I'd be like, okay, well, just give him a minute. He's working on the car, you know? So there was, I didn't get all the good stuff that he did in the beginning, but then it came on after the stress of building the camo movement.
Who would you say out of everybody, you know, in the PRE family, Dolph, Glock, and everybody, who would you say that you personally have the closest relationship with? Who looked, to get in a deeper, who looked out for you the most?
I mean, when Dolph was alive, Dolph. And then past that, it's been Daddy-O and his people. And although we're close with Glock, God, he's so damn busy. So it's Daddy-O. And we've gotten really close since Dolph passed. And I don't know, like you said, it's a different level, that relationship that I have. And they know that I have to kind of keep him on track. He's like Dolph, you know, they're artists, they're creators, and there still has to be somebody to kind of pull them back in line a little bit. So they know that I do that, and they respect me for it, and it's really nice to have that respect. And she's not just the wife or the lady at the desk, that she's a part of it too.
I think the coolest thing for me is seeing your progression over the years. Like she said, like there's so many artists and people that know me, where, you know, like, I think she probably had it the hardest because there was so much, for so many years, you know, like Dolph would call and, where my boy? You know what I'm saying? Where my boy? Where Jay? Future call, like, where Jay? Where my boy? You know, and just so many of these people, like, and I, you know, I mean, of course I want to take their call, but at the same time, I'm running a business, so I can't always be the one to answer the phone. You know Absolutely. What I'm saying? And Danielle not being involved in cars, but really diving into it because of me and us growing this business. It's been cool. Like, in real talk, like, if it's like a trim model or some shit like that, like, she knows more about cars than I do. And it's been cool to see her learn all of that and, like, get the respect from these men that think, you know, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like, oh, I know this, that. I want to talk to some chick, and it's like, yeah, but you talk to her for a couple minutes and you fuck around, find out she knows more than you. Like,
it's a male-dominated industry, so when, you know, I've seen it firsthand, you know, when they speak to a woman about cars, whatever, they're like, oh, just give me your man instead.
A lot of shops probably have that person that does kind of, you know, block or filter out the calls or
Absolutely.
whatnot, and we just don't have that. We've never had that. So
now with with you guys, what would you say you're most proud about your wife with over the years? Like, if there's one thing that you could tell your wife right now, like you're proud of her the most, what would it be?
Oh man, thanks for putting me on
I
the
know,
spot.
yeah.
Her overall growth and leadership. You know, like we never planned to be business owners. Like that wasn't. And when we got together, like we were poor. Like I wasn't making money. Like, you know, there was a time where all we had was a Toyota Camry that we shared between the two of us, and lived in a small apartment. So to see her progress and evolve with me and take ownership of this and be a leader, and be someone so respected. Like, she's super humble about it, but at the same time, she could call Future right now and hit answer the phone. And she could call a number of different other artists and influential people in the world and countless millionaires, and she can make whatever happen she wants. You know, where I think, you know, that's pretty admirable. She's earned the respect of the label and all of our customers. You know, way more than just the label, but
I don't think people realize, like, going into business with your partner is a very tough thing to do. Sometimes there's a lot of stress. You guys are always together 24/7. You know, there's not much time
you
separated.
mean other people want to choke their wives?
I think it might be a possibility.
I thought I should maybe be checked into a clinic because I was the only one, but I'm glad to know.
But, you know, Danielle, like, obviously you've seen the growth of Justin over all these years, and, you know, everything that you guys have built together. And, you know, same question to you, what are you most proud of Justin?
I think the fact that no, it can't be like this. It can't.
Y'all recording this?
Stop, it can't be like this. So, you know, when I met Justin, like, and if you didn't really know him, like, he's a badass, okay? So he's
Damn right.
tatted up, he's always dressed up. But anyway, going into our relationship, I knew he was the bad boy, right? And he had that tough.
I was.
He still is, but he has this tough outer shell that, you know, kind of puts off this persona of intimidation or whatever the fact is. But with this business, he's been able to. So in our relationship, I get to see the softer side of him that cares and loves and gives everything. But everybody that we have been able to come across in our business, he's been able to bless with what he's gained and knowledge from this business, and kind of help other people grow either their business or just their personality and their, what do you call it? What's the word I'm trying to say? Just build themselves up just
Like
based
their
off of
character.
their character, by, you know, being inspired by him. But he's been able to show so many people love that I wouldn't think he normally would. They get to see a different side of him, but it's helped so many people grow, and we've come across so many great people in our lives that it's great to see that everybody gets to see that side of him too, and he's not just the Jesse James of the rap world. He's a great guy that wants everybody to flourish and grow and build a legacy, and a great one at that. And
Yeah,
I think we're still doing that. So
I'll never forget taking the pictures of Blake's dually out in SEMA, and, like, you were hit me up on the rap page, and you're like, hey, just send those over to me or whatever. And then from there, I was like, okay, like, it sounds good, but like you said, he comes off as like this hardcore badass man. I was like, I'm kind of scared to like DM him right now. And then Justin's been this soft teddy bear to me, where he's opened up his soft side, and, you know, the hospitality has been great, man. I've appreciated everything that you've done for me. You've, you know, called me in times that I've needed it, or called me just to talk business, like Future, whatever it could be. It's always like, hey, if I'm busy, I'll get back to you, and you've always promised me to get back on that. And, like, that's what, like, I knew that we could build a great relationship off that. Is like, you know, you're a man of your word, and, you know, you've taken care of me, and you've not even known me from Adam. And so, like, that, I mean, is what you're going off of, you know. It's just the softer side that I don't think a lot of people get to see and understand about you. Is like, yeah,
I'm not soft.
No, I think the business kind of brought it out. You know, he saw that he had an opportunity to be able to help others, and in a unique way.
Absolutely.
And a really badass way of letting people to be around these cars that they would normally just get to see at a car show. They're getting to work on them and put their work into it too. So it's.
I think Cat Williams really changed that. I think that was a defining moment in my life that changed my trajectory. Cat was, so you don't know this, and most of the world don't, but Cat Williams and I became very close when we had our second shop. And again, so Danielle and I had nothing when we opened ACW. As a matter of fact, we had set up an account with a company called Fellers that's a distributor, and still, I think they're still the world's largest vinyl distributor. They love us to death now, but they would probably hate us if they knew. No, but so like when the first order I ever placed for a customer, like I had wrote the check on a Monday, and the money wasn't in the account, like to clear. Like that's how broke we were, and I had to get the car done and get paid in time for the check to clear, which I did, by the way. I didn't bounce the check, but the point of that is like, you know, we came from that, and I've always been a fighter. I love the adrenaline rush of fighting as much as I do driving cars. I'm addicted to adrenaline, so and I've got a very defensive temper, where I'm not aggressively mad, but if you fuck with me,
You'll know.
You're gonna see a different side of me. And when Cat Williams came into our life, like he changed perspectives on a lot of things, and that was. Future helped us a lot, but we were never as close to Future as I was, or we both were with Cat. Like, Cat Williams was.
Future's on his come up. He was.
Yeah, Future was just busy. I mean, he was doing his thing, and Cat was too, but like, Cat spent a lot of time with Danielle and I, and eventually, in 2016, I think, maybe. 2016 or so, Cat Williams gave me a Lamborghini Huracan 610-4 that had 2,000 miles on it, and it only had 2,000 miles on it because I didn't get on the fucking jet to go to Philly to get it from Benny Siegel. And like, Cat had his jet fueled up and was like, I need you to go to the airport, get on this jet, go to Philly, pick up this Lambo from Benny Siegel and drive it back here. And I hit him up like, hey man, I missed my flight, yada yada, because I thought, man, this is gonna be some bullshit. I don't want to go to Philly, and so like the next day, Cat jumped on the jet, went to Philly, got the car, drove back. There was a lot of context, but but ultimately gave Danielle and I the car, or gave me the car, and. Like, titles in the glove box, you don't know shit. And I was like, Cat, like, I can't afford the fucking insurance on this shit, you know? And so he was like, I know, but I'm gonna pay for the insurance for a year. So you got, you know, like, you got a year to figure it out and to get to that level that I know you're worthy of. And
Holy shit.
And so, you know, by him doing that, man, like again, there was a lot of deep conversations, a lot of wisdom and knowledge being absorbed and given, but that really changed my life, Ty. Like, in a sense of, wow, this man, like, why is he giving me this car? So there was a lot of Danielle and I looking at each other, going like, at night, laying in the bed, going, do we really have a fucking Lambo in our garage? Like, this isn't real. Who's coming to take it back? You know?
Right.
And so that, it made me realize, like the biggest honor is getting to a point in life where you can bring other people up. At a certain point, what I learned from that, Ty, was like being given a Lambo or anything of that substantial nature, Like for a moment, it's incredible. It's just like incredible high, but eventually you realize like a Lambo's just another car. Like as majestic as it is, it's just a car, or it's just a piece of jewelry, or you know what I'm saying. So, and you can't get. I can't go buy a McLaren 720 today and get the same pleasure spike that I did when Cat gave me the Lambo.
That's a whole different.
Or when I bought Omega. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at a certain point of success, your true happiness is seeing the ones around you grow. To see your best friend get the car of his dreams with the wife of his dreams and enjoy things in life that he may have knew existed but didn't know was within his reach, and to see the next generation, the younger ones like Austin, grow and develop their companies, and to be able to give a platform and to give what my mentors have given to me. You motherfuckers aren't getting a Lambo. but when I sell out a 100 city tour, you'll get a Lambo. But until then, to give them the traction that Dolph gave me by being able to help support their companies. And, Skylar is in the shop every day, and you would think he works here, but he owns S&S Paint Correction. That's his business. I don't want to acquire his business and it be ACW. I want S&S Paint Correction to grow. I want Southern Detailing to grow. I want Brian Housley to step up and take ACW and grow and see that progression. And that's ultimately what the greatest honor and the most happiness comes from. Like
It's a whole deep level. Like,
it is, man, and I don't think I could have seen that without Kat. I think the trajectory of my life may have been, I have to fight for everything and fuck everybody, and that could have been the path I stayed on. That was definitely the path I was on when we got to know each other, and I think that goes back to what Danielle was saying, of seeing me change to not necessarily be soft, but to get the most enjoyment out of seeing the people around me achieve what they want. It's something different. Like I feel some type of way when I get in my McLaren and I drive home, or I go to the mountains and I play chase with my friends. But I honestly think I get just as much pleasure or more throwing one of my best friends the keys and chasing him in my own fucking car, and I think there's a lot of people out there that be like, that's my car, you're not doing that, and try to block their friends from it. What Kat did was open up my eyes to how great it feels to watch your friends succeed around you, and share that blessing, and so I think that's what we do. That's what we do in the shop.
Carried over into Dolph and this vision that he had,
It really
that we had
has.
no idea how far it would go.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing when you see others win. I mean, I can't tell you how I was stuck in that mindset years ago with baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of my biggest things. I don't want to see that person win. I want to be greater than that person. But when you're able to take that and mesh it into how can we all win?
Right.
What can we all do to win?
When you can manage that competitiveness.
Exactly. That's when life becomes so much greater, much happier.
Right.
You're not creating enemies and in certain standpoints, but when we were there in your office earlier talking about the jewelry and talking about all like the sentimental values of things, and like you could take everything else but these three things from me.
Right.
What were those three things?
It was my charms. My charms and my watch.
And then there was one other thing. There was
My gun.
Yeah.
That's more than.
Well, that's.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, it was like 4 or 5. It was like 4 or 5.
If we're really adding up, I mean, I'm not going anywhere without cigarettes and weed, like Coca-Colas. You know what I'm saying? But
the things that were on the table,
the most meaningful things are certainly I think what we were discussing was I typically don't buy jewelry for myself.
Your wife bought you 2 Rolexes.
Yeah, and an AP. You know,
A wife of the year.
yeah. But you know, I think, but again, like they were, they're all earned. You know, one of them was my ACW charm. Actually, I think the first one was my free bands charm. So it took years, and some shit.
We were waiting for that too in the city. We were waiting for an hour for them to show up.
Yeah.
But it, you know, it took a long time and some shit, you know, that I wouldn't even start to tell you on film, or even behind closed doors. But I did a lot to earn that free bands charm, and so when I was presented with that, that was so valuable and sentimental. Just not because I wanted to wear a flashy chain that said free bands, but I didn't give a shit about that. To be honest, I very rarely to never wore it. It was just a reminder that family loves me and that label protects me, and they're there for me from the beginning, and they'll be there with me till the end. So that was super meaningful. The next one was my ACW charm with the blue diamonds, you know, when all the camo shit kicked off, and it was like we're finally to a point where I can afford to buy a fucking charm with my own shit on it, and it was just a statement. And I bought Danielle one too. So it was very meaningful, you know, like that's our company, our brand is worthy of being stamped in diamonds, and that meant a lot. The most meaningful one is the one I wear around my neck. I mean, I earned it so many fucking times.
How did it feel to be inducted? Like to finally get that chain, to finally have it around your neck?
Not like I expected it to. Not nearly like I expected it to. Anyone can go buy a PRE chain. You can call Johnny Dane and dish out the thousands and thousands of dollars, and you can get one. But that don't mean shit. Like, and you ain't shit. Like, I'm not hating on people who got PRE who bought their chains, but I'm just saying that's one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Can't take that away from you.
That's showing love and support. I get it, but to me, I could have bought so many chains. It's ridiculous, but fuck that. Like, I wanted, like, it had to be earned, and it would be given when it was earned. I earned it with Dolph, and Dolph had called me, like, told me, like, bro, I got you on, like I got your charm, you know, everybody in the crew getting changed, blah, blah, blah. But then he got on the flight, and TSA, like, took all the jewelry that he had on him, all the money and all the shit, like, and they tied that shit up. Like, the feds had all his jewelry, which included my charm, and all this shit for, like, well over a year or more. So he had already told me before the airport thing, like, yeah, like, as soon as I get to the A, you're getting your charm, like, blah, 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 and then bam, he got hemmed up. So it was like, man, fuck, you know, and I'd check in on it and shit, but then, like, and he had told me, like, he got it back, and we were gonna meet up and whatnot, but, like, it just didn't happen before he got murdered. And when that happened, it was like, I'll never, you know, like, I'll never get it. It's gone. And understand that my relationship with Dolph, although that was so close, like, that didn't necessarily mean that my relationship with Daddy-O would be the same. they're two different people. Like, they may own the same label, but they're two different people, and all my relationship with Dolph did in the instance of Daddy-O was like, Daddy-O knew I didn't fuck around, I was Dolph's boy. It gave me credibility, and it brought us closer together, like, to have those conversations and what have you, but I hadn't earned this charm with Daddy-O.
Right,
I earned it with Dolph. And all of Dolph's jewelry when he was killed was, given to Mia, was locked away, it's put in safes, yada yada. So just because I say, here's the text where Dolph said, I got coming with your chain, like, that don't mean she's gonna dip into the jewelry box and give me a chain, and I wouldn't want it that way. Right. So it basically like started all over, that cycle of like earning that shit started all over again, and there was so many times like, this shit means more to me than money. Like we've made stupid money on wraps. We made stupid money on camo, but that shit's just business. So you can, people spend a stupid amount of money on cars and different businesses all the time, and it's just where they spend their money. You know what I'm saying? So, like Skylar was saying earlier, going to Memphis, like, Daddy-O hit me like, yo, we're doing this show for Dolph, the family, blah, 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 but I need you to come up with these cars, and I need you to bring these cars, and I need you to be responsible for them. And so, like, I was like, shit, we're going to Memphis. Glock gonna be there. The whole family gonna be there. This is when I'm gonna get my chain. I'm going into a war zone, and I'm fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing this shit, and I didn't get it, and I was like, man, fuck. There was just several times where, like, I had put myself in situations in my family and different things to show loyalty to the label, and felt like I knew they knew, you know what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
But when you go to an event or you show up somewhere, and the ones that are with the family wearing charms earn them motherfuckers. Like, they're family. They're the ones you don't fuck with, you know what I'm saying? Like, dogs. They earn that shit, and you don't want to fuck around, so it means something. And on my birthday, Daddy-O, like, hit me like, yo, I got to pull up on you, I got to come see you, and I'll be there in a minute. And so, like, I don't know, I waited here after work probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours. This motherfucker pulling a Dolph on me, like, I'm gonna be right there, I'm right around the block, all this shit. So I fuck this shit, and I went home, like, Daddy-O, just like Dolph, goddammit, we're going home. And so I went home, got in my pajamas and shit, ate some dinner with Danielle, kicking. Daddy-O's calling, fucking, I ain't answering. Danielle, you can answer if you want to. She answers, he's mad, he came home, I'm telling him I gotta meet him tonight. I'm like, man, fuck him. I ain't going back up there, fuck him.
He was like
And
flying
he
out
was
the
like,
next day.
no, I'm flying out the next day. You gotta meet me tonight, cuz at the shop right now. And I'd even told Danielle, like, this is some bullshit. I'm getting dressed, I'm going back to the shop. This is some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And man, Daddy, it was just me and him. Like just me and him. He pulled up on me, like, we sat down. He, told me how much he loved and appreciated me, and recognized everything that I've done for them over the years, and told me, like, it was time to be a general, that I put in my time as a soldier, and it's time to lead and be a leader and be a role model, and so that shit means more to me than anything in the world, really. Like, you can take all these cars from me, you can take all the money and the jewelry and all the shit, like, drop me off in the middle of the desert, but if I get one phone call, I'm calling Daddy-O, and I'm fucking good. Like, I know Dolph's family, PRE, like, I know no matter what happens to me for the rest of my life, I'm one call away from being good.
What was your emotions like when Daddy O, you know, was like?
Oh, you know, we hugged that shit out and did some shit like gangsters don't do on TV. But, you know, like that, you know, it was emotional for both of us, and he knew how bad I wanted that shit. Again, not for the money. It ain't. You can have all that shit, bro. Like it's just for knowing. Like I'm appreciated,
Of course.
and the label sees me as someone to be appreciated and respected, and that's, you know, again, it goes deeper than Dolph. It's Glock's a part of that label, you know, Sleepy Cuz, Marquis, Moochie, Snoop, Jay, like they've all filmed here. We've worked together for years with all of them. Like it don't matter if we're in Texas, LA, Atlanta, Memphis, them my fucking people. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I gotta do for them. They're gonna do what they gotta do for us, and they've done that. And so yeah, that, you know. And then the camo AP shit is, I mean, it looked good on me.
That's just hard.
It
I'm
looks
not
good.
gonna lie. When I seen that, I was
got
like,
me
damn.
that shit for my birthday this past year too. So
Now, like to kind of end this video with you guys here, and to end this, what is one piece of advice? What is your message to the world?
for me,
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, both of y'all, but
Oh.
Justin to start.
I ain't fucking going nowhere, baby. You're gonna have to keep looking at me. Hey, don't fucking want to. I ain't going nowhere yet.
I thought this was gonna be some sentimental, like
Yeah.
emotional,
That's
deep
where
shit,
mine
where
was
it's
going.
Oh, no.
like
Oh,
fucking
man.
Conor McGregor. I ain't fucking leaving.
I ain't fucking leaving. You know, my message to the world would just be like, spread some love. You know what I'm saying? Like, spread love, do well for others when you can. You know, instinctively people are going to put themselves first, and as they should. You got to look out for you. No one else is going to look out for you in the way that you should. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But second to looking out for yourself and your family comes the friends and people around you, and you get back what you put in. You know what I'm saying? And if I could give advice, it would be plan for the unexpected. You know what I'm saying? Like, be prepared for the unexpected. You know, if you are into F1 or you watch a F1 race, like they play out 100 scenarios of different ways the race can go down before the shit goes down. And in business and in life, like the shit's it's not checkers, it's chess. You know what I'm saying? So be prepared for the unexpected. Be prepared for your friends to be gone and your family to be gone, and be prepared to step up when you need to be.
Same as him. Do good for others and things will come to you. You build it, they will come. But if you do build it, do it great and do it hardcore.
For the right reasons.
For the right reasons. But do it with your heart and soul. And also soak up every freaking moment. Like, there's a lot of regret and, you know, with losing people, so soak up everything you can. And
That's a great piece of advice, really.
You never know when tomorrow's not gonna come. You know,
Yeah.
I think we've all, I can speak for not only myself, but for everybody, I think we all take life for granted sometimes where,
well, and you know, running a business, things are always so fast paced, and you don't ever stop to think. And that's another piece of advice. Take moments in time, even if it's hours, to just sit back and really soak up your life and your own accomplishments. People don't do that enough, and they're so hard on themselves when they, you know, have a downfall. But you know, focus on the good. That's what I can say.
I think that's a big regret, or like you kind of touched on the huge regret that I have, and it's very unintentional. Like, I think my biggest regret is not soaking in the moments.
Yeah.
Everything happens so fast. It does and it doesn't. Like, getting to where we are didn't happen overnight or fast, but it did happen so fast. So, like, you know, just certain things, like for us, our success, I would say, really started in 2015, and it was so go, 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 go that, you know, whether it was our first trip to SEMA or our first time doing a Netflix special or like whatever it was, we were just like, all right, we just got to get through this and then we can sit back and soak it up. We just got to get through this and we can sit back and soak it up. And even now, like we talk about, like one day we'll write a book or make a movie about this shit, but we still haven't got to sit back and go.
We've made more
We really
time
fucking
over the
did
past
that.
couple of years, but it's still hard to do.
It's
Yeah,
understandable.
yeah.
You guys, I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart
Man,
taking the time out of your guys' busy schedule to invite me into your guys' home,
Anytime,
into
fam.
Atlanta, and welcome me with all your guys' crew here. I mean, have felt so welcome. I couldn't have done it without your crew, man. So
We got a good group of people. They're all family.
it's been amazing. So sincerely, thank you guys so much. I really
Thank you,
appreciate you
bro.
guys, and
You're
I
welcome.
hope you
man.
guys enjoyed this video. We will catch you guys on the next one.
That's a wrap. Thank you, fam.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much, man.
All that sentimental shit I said, I mean, a fucking word
Oh
of it.
my gosh.